All right, guys, so right now we're actually going to go ahead and try to play a game called the Convenience Store. Now, this is going to be my first time run. Bear with me and accept the epic fails or whatever it is that may come across our way. Never played this game before. I want to see what it's all about. So here we are. We're about to find out right now as we speak. All right, so what's going on here? It's time. Need to get ready for work. Movement, WASD, interact with the left mouse button. Your options will be the escape menu. Why does it look like this? Why does it look so weird? Hit the options. Options, gameplay, graphics 100%. Shadows. Hard and soft. What the heck? Is this supposed to look like this? Okay. The heck is the mouse trying to steal a bag of chips? Oh, door's open. Oh, okay. Oh! Gotta bring flashlight. Alright, well, let's go get the flashlight. What's this? Pick up flashlight. Yes. Okay, so we got a flashlight. Can't go through that door. We can't sprint, we can't run, we can't do anything, we can't jump. What's with the mouse? Alright, well, first we're gonna go down to the basement. Ooh, bathroom. What's with the nasty looking toilets and sinks nowadays in games? Right. Alright. I need to eat something, change, and grab a flashlight. Need to eat something, change, and grab a flashlight. What? Really? Okay. Change clothes? Yes. Alright, we're changing our clothes here really quick, guys. We are changing our clothes. Alright, we're all changed. I think we're all changed up. It's dark outside. Okay. Ooh. What's in my hand? Warm it up? Yes. Can't wait to eat. Yeah, I don't know why it looks like this. It's weird. We're gonna get radiation in our eyes if we keep looking. It's done. Eat bento? Yeah. Alright, eat it up, let's go. Okay, we're all done here, I think the game is intentionally looking this way. I hope it don't look like this the whole time. Okay, we're outside. What the hell's going on here? What are we looking for? We're exploring the city of something. I'm running into tree logs. Ooh, houses. Oh, okay. Houses are definitely low res. We're gonna go ahead and just keep on going here. Okay, we're not going this way. Oh, we're going down? Or how does this work? We definitely went the wrong way. Okay. We found some stairs. Let's go ahead and head down. More stairs. I don't know where we're going. Okay. Follow the streetlights. That's exactly what we're gonna do. There's nothing in the mailboxes. We got flower pots outside. Everything's looking pretty good. Everything's looking pretty oh, okay. Guess we're going out this way. And oh, what do you know? Let's go ahead and head inside. What's out here? Somebody out here? I know what really happened here. I was called to warn you all, but the name I cannot speak of. The day of judgment will come. Yeah. Or is it? Wait, what's this? Oh, there's a parking spaces. Why is this truck park side? Oh, wait, what's the license plate say? Oh, my eyeballs. Oh. Okay, we're heading inside. Ooh, noodles, yay! Rabbit carrot juice. I've been drinking only that recently. Highly recommended. Oh, we can go back here even though we don't work here? Okay, cool. Or this must be the walk-in cooler. No, we can explore. And what is going on back here? Why do we have electric tape? Oh, well, I guess that explains it. How come I can't sprint no more? What is this? Can't do nothing with that. It won't let me do anything. All right, well, it looks like we got a few things here. This shelf looks fine. Looks like some are expired. This shelf looks fine. Shelf looks fine. Shelf looks expired. Okay. Anyway, let's talk to this guy and see what's going on. Can I go in? Oh God, you made it! Oh no, it's just that I recently heard someone had fell off the bridge you just crossed. There was an old lady that said she saw a man walking down the street with his legs completely bent the other way. Scary stuff. If only this was a true story. Ha 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 ha, sorry. Okay, then we're gonna go inside, guys. Everything's so bright, right? It is very bright in here. I don't know why it's so bright in this game. So what are we doing here, mate? What the hell is this? My sign-in sheet? Oh yeah, punch in. Yep, punch in, guys. I think some food are expired by the time you start your shift. Can you take them up the shelves for me? Your manager, okay. What the heck? Some of the expired items I think were over here. What am I supposed to do with this? Take this into the garbage? What if that guy tries to steal something? Okay, put... Oh, wow, we can carry more than one bag, guys. Interesting. Yeah, the graphics are weird. I don't know why it looks the way it does, but it's all good. Why can't I run? It looks like it might not have looked that bad. I don't know why they did it this way, though. Oh, you got heavy feet, dude. You ready to order something or what? I don't know what we're doing here. There's a guy at the register, but maybe I need to talk to him out here. I don't know. Oh, maybe I can't do anything because I got this equipped. I'm not sure. Okay. I don't get what's going on here. Hold on. All right, let me go. You know what? Let me not go in yet. Let's grab this and then go inside. He's got cod feet, right, dude? Oh my gosh. I think some of the food expired by the time you start your shift. Can you take them off the shelves for me? That's all they say. I can't ring him out. Or is he just supposed to stay there? $13 an hour, a night shift. This is the reason why I'm here. Oh wow, $13 an hour. Oh, I can't leave the store. There's this guy's car. Leave the doors open. He doesn't care. Yeah, we took everything off the shelves, so... Alright, let me check the cameras. Maybe we need... Maybe there's something we're missing here. What was the buttons? Left mouse button to interact. Wow, we can turn that off, guys. Wow. Okay, well, since that's all done, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Somebody's getting tackled. Somebody's getting tackled. All right, this guy's buying products, but like, what do I need to do now? Now I can actually see what's going on here, guys. Not like before. So these are all good? None of these are spoiled now? So I don't get what's going on here. Oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to restock? No? I don't know. No, bright though. Right. Hold on, let me get in here. Holy mackerel, why can't we see? Man, we could. It is super bright, right? I got you. Hold on. That's all the way down. It's a little better without the bloom. Thank you for keeping the toilet clean, Ali. Convincing? What? Okay, so there's like nothing else here on the shelves. I can't ring this guy out or nothing. I think the game might have been stuck. He sees me. No, wait a minute. What is the purpose of this? Why do we have this? Maybe this is the, maybe we have to restock the shelves? No, not really. Okay, well. There is one more item on the shelf, one at the ends of it. Okay. Restart? Yeah, you think there's something wrong with it? I think there's something wrong with the game. There's that. Bring me food, or you will receive eternal punishment. So is that what's going on here? The heck am I supposed to give him? Decent sized noodle packs. This store is stocked. Right. Guys, I don't know. This is like to open a freezer or something? Hold on a second. I might have to restart the game, guys, but I don't think it's that glitched, is it? Okay, so the guy outside wants me to bring him food. You know what? There's gotta be something. Okay. Maybe there's something back here I'm not catching. Let me check the cameras. Maybe there's something we got to do with the cameras. I keep exiting the camera so quickly. Okay. I think we broke it, guys. All right, so we're gonna quit it and we're gonna try again. It doesn't let me quit the game. Okay, well that works. All right, well we'll quit it this way. You know what, guys? I got an idea. Give me a second. I got an idea for us. Yeah, I think it is too, but don't worry. We got this. I got an idea. We're going to try to make the game look a little bit better for you guys so it's not like hurting your eyeballs there. Smack the booty on the game. Smack our game cartridge, guys. Knock some sense back into it again. Alright, let's take a look here, see what we have. Right. Like I said, we're clearing up some space, guys. We already got the one out of the way. We're going to get this one out the way. I think my computer froze. Oh boy. Bad news. Bad news, oh my god. I think we're frozen. There we go. Alright, we're gonna do that. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. Um, Right? Okay. Well, it's gonna be a little easier with the riddle this time, guys. All right, let's try this again. What the heck? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and start it up, guys. Oh, Dead by Daylight. I haven't played that in a while. Oh, yeah, I haven't played that in a while. All right, let's try this again. First thing we're doing, take that camera effect off.
Ah, よく寝た。懐中電灯を持っていかないと危ないよね。
Got our clothes, got our flashlight. We're waiting on a meal on the thing. Imagine, Jay, you running from a killer. Right. The game probably looks a little better for you guys now, right? The carpet looks more real. Yum, yum, yum. Making me hungry. Gotta play Dead by Daylight on PC. Yeah, what sucks about that version, I don't have nothing. The Xbox version, I have everything. PC, pff, nothing.
外もう真っ暗だよね。
Oh, okay. I think we're ready to get out of here, guys. Okay, at least this time we're doing it with regular graphics, not this. Killer would never catch me, right? Okay, let's go ahead and run downstairs here real quick. I think we're gonna be okay. Oh, never mind. Oh my gosh. Which, so what do you guys play Dead by Daylight on? Oh, we're taking a shortcut here, guys. I think version you can play tag team? Wait, what? I have more stuff on Xbox version 2. My PC version has the regular people. Gotcha. I fly through the sky at the speed of sound. You can't see me because I'm so fast until I stop to catch my breath. Who am I? I fly so fast, I'm like the speed of sound. I want to say a bird. A bat. Holy macro, that's bright, isn't it? Hold on. Okay, well, let him be there. I'm gonna check the CCTV while my partner's still here. Super Mario PlayStation. Basically, Jay got Xbox. I think version you can play. Really? Alright, we're gonna grab the timesheet card. We're gonna punch in. People got loud feet in this game, but what's with his pinky sticking out? He's got that pinky going on like... Look, I can only carry one at a time. Last time I carried both. Ah, that might have been what happened. I think it's working now. That was weird. What's with everybody's pinkies? Look. Jeez. A hummingbird! A hummingbird. Superman? Until I stop to catch my breath. Hmm. Why did I take the handle? Okay, what the... Wow. What the heck? So we already took all the expired food out. The car pulled out. Guess that's it. Basically hit yellow logo from another angle. Yeah, there you go. Well, let's see if there was any other expired foods we need to take out, guys. The heck? Something ain't right. Oh, I think we got a car coming, or is that a truck? So what's the purpose of this? See if customers are coming? I heard footsteps again. I think it might be the semi-truck driver. Oh, yep. Oh, yeah, it's a truck driver. Let me get out there, guys. It's kind of late for a delivery, man. At this time, huh? We recently incorporated this system exclusively for convenience stores that are open late at night. Looks like this package is directly shipped to the store. Oh, and the name matches your tag. I think this is for you. Wow. Oh no, I don't want to take it home. Yeah, we'll take it home. Oh look, I can see the convenience store from here. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, let's watch it closely. Oh, is this behind the store? That's it? What? Wait, nothing was cooking? You can't be serious. Wow. So what am I doing now? First night? What do you mean first night? Why is it so dark? Holy mackerel, it's dark. I can't see nothing. Alright, well, this is supposedly be where the streetlights would be. Or probably because I got bloom off? Alright, there's the store, guys. We're going back. Where's the guy outside? This game is weird. I know, right? I can't wait for it. Hey, so I heard you reported that the doors won't open on or that the doors open on their own. Well, we got a guy to check the sensor and it seems like the wirings were loose. Oh, you thought it was some sort of Portuguese? I see those on TV all the time, but they're all scripted. Ghosts aren't real after all. Wow. Alright, well, let's see what the manager wants me to do this time. I'm gonna go ahead and clock in again. I saw some rats behind the store yesterday. Someone must have left the garbage bin open. The first person to see this snow has to get rid of the rodents ASAP. Your manager. Wow. Get rid of the rodents? How am I supposed to do that? Oh gosh, yeah, they're here. Well, what am I supposed to... What am I supposed to use? Hold on, we gotta find something here. Maybe in the break room. Oh. Oh. One wrote it down. We literally just spray them directly on. Gotcha, buddy. Come on. We got 2 more mice hanging around here somewhere, guys. Got him. Real life simulator. Right. Apply it directly on fur. That is spray on contact, guys. That's the best rat killer I've ever seen. Mice killer. Like, give me some of that stuff. I don't know what I'll do if I really saw a mouse, guys. I'd probably freak out. Oh, look. Grandma's coming in. Oh, yeah, she's happy. Huh? You know, they kind of remind me of like the Nintendo 64. Don't tell me she's going to the bathroom. Oh, don't you dare dirty that bathroom. Oh, don't you dare. I can't go in there. She's gonna use it. Like, get out the way. Oh, she's gonna destroy my clean toilet. Oh gosh, no, please don't. Oh, let me go in there. I can't go in there. Oh no. I can't stop her, I tried. Well, I took care of the rodent, so that problem is done. I guess we just go behind the counter and that's it. I don't understand the purpose of this, though. Like, she's in the bathroom. Ugh. The rodents are gone. Oh, don't tell me this guy is about to rob the place. He looked like he's about to rob the place. Hey, I'm in a hurry. Could you please fetch me 5 cans of beer and a pack of cigar? Hurry up. The hell do I get cigars? Okay, well, I think for a beer, I think we got to go into the beer item. What do I got to go get him? The heck are we getting here? I don't think we're on a time limit or nothing scary how he commanded it. Right. Oh, they're on the ground. I can only carry 1 at a time. This guy's a butthead. $13 an hour, guys. We gotta remember that. $13 an hour. Oh, yeah. I think I grabbed all the beers from the fridge. Intense, right? Dude. Alright, grab the other beer. Right. I think we just gotta give him one more and we're done. One more beer. I gotta get 5 cans of beer. Why can't you just get a 6-pack? Make it easier so I can just carry it all at once. Good. Now scan. Jeez. It's a weird register. Okay. Old lady's coming out of the bathroom. So weird. Good. Now scan. Right. Dude, I'm gonna go to the store and do exactly what that guy just did. They're gonna look at me like, get your own stuff. Why is the old lady not moving? What the heck? She's creeping me out. Maybe we have to go to her. Find out what's going on with this old lady. Ma'am, you need any help? Where's Ken-kun, huh? You know, where's Ken-kun is? I thought I heard his voice. This was my daughter's house. Wait, what? What did you do? What dare you? I don't even want to know. Oh, it's clean. Oh, thank goodness. Thought she might have dirtied it up, man. She's moving a little quicker. Did she get a suntan while she was in there? Well, that's her van right there. Is that your vehicle? I think it is. Yep. She took a dump and lost her memories. Right. Honestly, Jay, I'm to the... What the hell? What's wrong? What's wrong with that? Somebody come in the store? The bathroom's still open. I don't understand. Was that a kid? I just saw it. A kid. Wow, now we got little kids playing with the door, guys. She pooped her brains out? Ouch. Yo. Alright. We got little children out there playing with us, guys. How dare they? Oh, another truck driver. Why does everybody walk so mean? Like... Ghost? No, look like a little kid. Good to see you again. Oh, you know, the unstoppable trend on ordering everything online. Anyway, say to be a package that needs to be picked up here. Oh. Didn't even know this was even here. Okay. Well, I think we're starting to learn what the store is really all about. What is this, like a store simulator? I don't think we can see that side of the building, though. Yeah, truck driver left just now, guys. Well, I don't know. The sign said $13 an hour. Or I don't know, maybe I know China, the wages are a lot different. Right here. Oh, it tells you the time. Or the store hours, I guess, or something. Why is the bathroom still open? Second night, what? The heck is umbrella? Oh yeah, we're gonna need that. It's raining. Oh wow. Oh, let's grab our flashlight. Oh, someone's outside too. We got an umbrella ready, guys. What the hell? Makes no sense. This is weird. All this weirdness is making me hungry. Oh, we got another tape. Oh. Let's watch it closely. Oh boy. It doesn't show anything. I don't know. Let's get the heck out of here. I gotta run there again? I left my door open the whole time? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Skylines. What's going on? Right. Get my 5 beers and cigar box. Jeez. I don't know, man. Somebody coming on that. I feel bad for this person, really. Beer does sound good. Skid it. That's hilarious. Skid it. Actually, that reminds me. Hold on, you guys just reminded me of something. Hold on a second. Anyway. Right. All right, here we go. Showtime. Yeah, this is definitely not a big game. It's a it's interesting. Where's the worker at? Bathroom's open. The worker's not here. The hell is going on? Oh no, no, no. Man, all this food's making me hungry, man. Look at the Where is he? It's weird. I don't know, I guess we clock in. This guy dip? So weird. Holy, what the? God, jeez. Boo, dude. I got you good, huh? Yes, you did. Okay, fine, I'll stop. I promise I won't do it again. Oh my god, this dude. Wow, man. No, that is very true. People do. Oh my god, dude, I'm trying to clock in and get to work, man. I gotta make my money. This guy. Oh, what's the manager note today? Some products were missing on the shelf, and it will always keep the shelves full. That's our motto. So please restock them by tomorrow morning. Your manager. This dude. I for real feel like I'm working for free slave labor here, guys. Oh, wait, where the stock missing at? Where the hell did we grab the stock? Probably the back room. Oh. These red meats, I believe, go over here. Should be right here. No? The heck? It looks full to me. These are the chips, but where the heck are the...
What the deuce?
Oh, restock right there. Got it. All done. I think we're all stocked up, or do we still gotta stock up on something, right? Jay, don't worry. Which one did you want me to get ready for tomorrow? Did you, I think Boris might be done. What's this? Oh, wait, the frozen. This is the frozen. So this game is. What the hell? Hello? Hey, open the door. Okay, that's it. Somebody locked me in here, guys. Wait, what the? The heck? So weird. Somebody's walking in. Oh, wow. He must work at a hospital. Well, let's take care of this guy real quick, see what he wants. Why is his foot in the ground? Oh, medical gear. Right, he came straight from work. I'm Humanda. So there's something wrong with the air conditioning. Your boss seemed desperate in keeping the food fresh. You don't look like you... never mind, maybe it's not a hospital worker. Hate to be working this late, but he pays me well, you know? Don't mind me. I'll just quickly check the outside units and head right out. Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah, because that's normal. I bet you we're going to fill in one of these spots next. Don't lock me in this thing again. Yeah, it does look like the frozen stuff. Got it. Look nice and stocked. I think we're done. I don't think there's anything else in the back room we need to do. Everybody looks the same, right? They all got like... Wait, what the... Why do I see rain right here? It's weird. Holy shoot, scared me. Blame my coworker on that one. Yeah, I think we're done here, guys. Well, let him do his thing, and I think we're done. Walmart Training Simulator! Right, yo, I swear. Imagine if a game like that boomed in sales. I'm gonna look at the CCTV. I haven't looked at the cameras in a while. I don't know what the point of the cameras are. Maybe it's just comes with the job. I don't know. This guy's in the back, so what is he doing back there? He's working on the AC. Looks like he's coming back in. Well, let's keep an eye on Hamada, right? Or is it the quick Mar training sim, right? There's a car coming in, guys. Or maybe it's driving by, I have no idea. Wait a minute, why is the tape broken? Uh-oh, here comes Hamada. And looks like we got a customer as well, guys. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's go help them out, see what they want. Don't tell me you're gonna use the bathroom. Make sure nobody steals anything. Not in my store. Hamada doesn't even check when he just leaves. Where'd the lady go? There she is. What's she grabbing? I don't trust her. Keep an eye on her. We got thieves everywhere. Okay. And they're waiting on me right now, so let's go to the register. I wasn't spying on her. Okay. Hey, what's up, ma'am? How can I help you? Oh, you just want me to scan and let you go? Oh, that's what that is, a scanner. I thought that was a lever for the... Oh my god, I'm over here trying to pry things open with it. Hey, are you the only one working here? I can't believe this. What kind of manager puts a girl at midnight shift alone? I'm a chick. I see you have no choice. Well, at the very least, I'll give you my protection charm. I'll be careful. Oh. Oh, well, thanks. Very nice of you. Did you see that little shadow behind her? I'm starting to create my own scary content, right? I guess the thought is cool of what this game could be. Obviously, it's not like a really huge company making it, but it's interesting, I guess. I don't know what else we do here. I think we're done. So Hamada came in. Lady gave us a special charm. I think we're done here, guys. You know what? I'm gonna check that tape. Why is that tape broken? That doesn't feel right. Right. The hell? The hell? Oh no. Oh, oh my god. Seriously? Who made him? Who did this? I'm not going back there. The heck? What the? Oh no, you didn't. My store is destroyed. Pick up the talismans? Yeah. Okay, at least I ain't gotta pick them up one by one. Thank goodness. What am I supposed to do with this? Okay, do I have to clean this mess over here too? There's a freaking ghost in the store now. Oh dear gosh. I have to check it. Curiosity's getting the better of me. Why is this open? Well, this is not good. That's weird. Well, he fixed it. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Why am I opening this? What is this for? Manager? Oh gosh. Goes knocking on the door, guys. Don't you dare. What the? Okay, now it's getting weird. Yeah, it rains to the buildings, right, right. Oh. Okay, so hold on. I know what that is. That was the room we were just in. And that's all we get to see. Okay, well, fair enough. What a nightmare. Was it all a dream? Oh, gosh. Well, that seemed pretty real. Let's get out of here. Oh, man, I gotta run to the store again. This is probably my least favorite part of the game is this right here, but it's not that is that far away, but it's pretty far. So how many nights we have? I think this is going to be one of those games where we have a couple nights. I think we're going to be almost... What are we? Night 3 or 4? 5? 6? 5 nights at Freddy's, right? Something like that. Not sure. Let's get out of here. Gee. Commutes barefoot, right? I don't even know. Dude. So that was the manager. Whoa. That was trippy. Well, we gotta be careful here, guys. We're on day 3. Day 1 and 2 was okay, but 3 was a bit... Or we're on day 3 now. Here he goes. He's missing again. Nah, dude. We're not about to do this again. No, you're not. This guy. Where is he now? Come on. Okay, so the tape is still damaged. Nobody came. AC's still not running. This is not good. Nope. Get back inside. We don't want to get involved with that. Kind of suddenly, just night 3, right? Yeah. This was more of like one of those curiosity games. Like, I get the concept is cool, but it's a bit cheesy, I guess. Like, would I tell you to buy it? I don't know. It's not that expensive, but can't even clock in. What the hell? Press the wrong button. Well, it's late. The game only lasts like an hour. Really? So why am I not? Oh no, this game just became Silent Hill. Nope. I'm gonna look at the TVs now. Yeah, I saw that. So what the heck? That's a ghost. It's walking in the front right now. Yo, what the? Did we just become an electronics store? It's not opening. So this ghost or whatever, I guess, walks over to the TV. Ghost forced it to become an electronics store, right? So what am I supposed to do here? So we have TVs to turn on. So we're obviously not leaving this area. I don't get it. So we got to do something with this ghost. I think we need to capture it or something. So weird. I don't know. Okay, so we got a couple TVs there. Okay, yeah, you might be right. You might be right. He looks at one at the bottom corner there. Then he looks at that one. All right, let's see which other ones he look at here. There's a TV over here he looks at. I believe that one. All right, let's see what the other one is he looks at. Right. Okay, he's looking at the TV he's at now. Okay. Okay, he's looking at that one, I think up there on the top. Really? Let's light all that up. I don't understand. I lit up every single one he goes to. That didn't work. Set like the whole game up, right? No. Oh gosh. Hopefully we'll get it. Okay, I think he's about to do the section now. He looks up top and he's on that side. He looks at the bottom. Honestly, can only light up 4 at a time. Yeah, it doesn't let us light up any more than 4 at a time, unfortunately. When he gets to this one, he looks at that one right there. Okay, he's telling us which TVs. Hold on. Okay, we did that one that he looks at. He's looking down at that one. Okay. Now, which one here? He's in the open down there, and I think he's looking at the bottom. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, there's something else we gotta do. This can't be. Okay, we can go outside. No, we can't. Dang it. Let's try these again. I think we got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 TVs are on. I can use the camera. I think we got it, guys. Hold on. We're in big trouble. The heck? So we captured the... To the right, to the right. I told you we were gonna pray that boar would just drop to the right, right. Oh, it's opening. It's doing it again. Fourth night. Blah, blah, blah. No, we want to watch it. Like, yeah, I'm sure. You could probably throw it away. I think they gave us a choice. Uh-oh. Not good. Very bad. This is very bad. I can't move. Maybe I should have watched it. Wow. Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. The convenience store. Yeah, we had some crazy customers. A couple Warren Nail, as Robbie Caber Juice, as poster on window, as restroom poster, additional highlight supporters. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. The television part wasn't, it was probably the hardest part. But yeah, that was kind of quick. Wow. Okay. Weird ending, weird game, right? All right, guys. You know what? It's like 3 in the morning. We've done our 5.5 hours actually. I will have to get some shut eye. I don't like goodbyes. We were having such a good time. I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow though, guys. I'll try to do like a late night. Probably like 8 EST time. So I don't know how much space I'm going to be saving now, but I'm going to be saving a pretty decent amount, guys. I really do appreciate you guys watching some of the convenience store gameplay, and I hope you guys really did enjoy. And until next time, I'll see you around. Oh yeah. Hold on. What the heck just happened? No. No. No.